All right, it's June, so it's time to talk to our old friend John H. Lilly, coach of the Independence Patriots. John, everything's in full swing now. What has your team been doing? And you guys are coming off the semifinal, another semifinal appearance. How's the team been looking in your summer stuff? What have you guys been up to?
I think we're on pace to where we wanted to be. I think we achieved our goals coming out of camp. Coming out of June ball, I think we achieved our goals. A lot of 7-on-7 work because we feel like we got a good quarterback and some good receivers and tailbacks coming back, and a lot of big man camps, a lot of big man challenges, and just going out. And I like doing that kind of stuff. I like the co-practices better, but I like going out and have our kids go against other kids from other states or from bigger schools, because I don't think we'll ever get to simulate that in practice. So, we wanted to get our full dose of it, and I think we did. I think we finished up this week, and now we're into the 4th of July break. So we'll take about 2-3 weeks off, and we'll still lift and run before we get back into it.
You're only usually, the saying goes, you're only as good as your schedule. You're going to be as good as your schedule is, and you guys aren't playing a typical Southern West Virginia type schedule. And I know it's been a problem for getting 10 games in the past. What's the schedule look like now? I know you're playing a lot of Ohio teams.
Well, we wanted to have the kids wanted to have 10 games. We haven't had 10 games since 2019, and we haven't had 5 home games since 2018. So it was just important for us, I think, as a school and as a staff and our players to have 10 games. And so we wanted to make sure that we did that no matter what or what we had to do to get to 10 games. I think it's unfair to make your kids work hard and do all the things that they do and not get 10 games. And we were we're actually in the middle of March with only 7 games. So we just decided that, hey, it's God's will. We'll play whoever we got to play and go wherever we got to go. But that's where we at. We literally called every AA team in the state and talked to them, and we just couldn't get any agreement on games.
And I looked at your schedule. I noticed it's pretty much OVAC heavy now, and made it looks like Independence joined the Ohio Valley Athletic Conference. But what do you know? Those are traditionally some pretty strong teams up in that area. What do you know about these teams? How are you going to get together scouting reports and stuff on teams, not even in the state and not close, just right across the border, like one down to Bluefield? These are trips.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I think that Martins Ferry, I think they're the 4th winningest program in the history of AA in Ohio. We're playing them. I think they're coming off an 8-2 year. They play in a pretty good conference up there too. So that's about all we know about them. Then we pick up Barnesville. Barnesville hasn't lost but 1 regular season game in the last 3 years, and they're a powerhouse up that way. So they're up there pretty close to Cleveland. And then of course Warren Local. I do have a little bit of experience with Warren Local. I played them when I was at Woodrow. So I think 2 of them are AAA schools, one's a AA school. So I look at it kind of another way too, though, Dave. I think it's going to be exciting. We kind of laugh about it. We're playing a national schedule instead of a state schedule. And if this happens next year, I'm going to schedule a team in Daytona, Florida. So, we're going to take a road trip. So
would you honestly, seriously go to
100%. I'm 100%.
You would go to Florida to play a high school football game if you had to?
Yeah. Everybody thinks I'm kidding when I say it. We'll play, and if we get stuck with 6 games, I'm going south. I'm not going north. So, we'll do it. We'll have fun, and we'll take a lemon and we'll make it lemonade, and we'll have a lot of fun. And if our guys, you've been over here, our guys are kind of loosey goose on that kind of stuff, and we like having fun. We practice. We have a lot of fun. And, we have a lot of fun when we play, and that'd just be another challenge for our program.
And speaking of your team, you have a lot of guys back from last year. I think it would be a fool's errand to compare any team to your 2022 team with all those guys coming back. But are there some similarities in there? You're not coming off, you almost made the same place in the playoffs is that you were one game from going to Wheeling again last year. That 21 team went to the state championship. 22, kicked the door in and won it. Do you feel like there are some similarities with all the guys you got coming back? Albeit there might not be a Judah Price, but I think he's probably a once-in-a-lifetime player for for schools in our area. But do you see some similarities with all the guys you got coming back?
Well, there's a lot of similarities in the area of the depth on the offensive and defensive line. We played a lot of freshmen last year. That's what people don't realize is on that offensive and defensive line, we rotated some really young kids in there, and we survived it. And so now, we feel like we've got 8 or 9 guys solid that can play on Friday night, and we've got about another 4. We think, they're still Monday night, but we think that, they're going to develop, and so that's where we're very similar in that aspect. We got some home run hitters, like we had with, in 22 with Trey and Colton and Cyrus. We got Lynx and Laxton and Bradbury, so we feel pretty good there. But I think our quarterback situation's really good. We've got Brock coming back, but we got Paxton coming up, and we let Paxton quarterback a 7-on-7, and he won his game in 7-on-7. So the moment wasn't too big for him. So I was real pleased with that.
What's his complete name? He's the guy that was quarterback last year in middle school.
Oh, Myers, yeah. He's going to be pretty good. He's more of a wide receiver type kid, but he throws the ball. He's got a nice touch on the ball. I think he threw for almost 3,000 yards in middle school, which is he broke Brock's record in middle school. So he's got a great touch on the ball. So he gives us 3 quarterbacks. Because we still have Silas if we have to run him at quarterback. We can run him at quarterback as well. So
he almost forgot he was a quarterback for 2 years ago before he had the season.
He can still we give him reps. He still gets reps at quarterback.
How good can he be as a running back? Silas Nelson.
I think he'd be really good. He one thing he does is he reads really well. He reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. I don't know if you remember that, but you know how Le'Veon would go like really slow till he sees the gap and then explode.
Explode into the gap.
Yeah, he's real patient as a runner. Sometimes I'm
Judah Price kind of like, right?
Yeah, Judah was patient. He was patient, but Judah was quicker. But Silas is kind of in between Atticus and Judah. Atticus is so big and strong, and Judah's strong but quick. And you put him together, you got Silas.
And that's a pretty good.
Yeah, I think he proved his worth last year. I think he finally learned how to play running back as the year went on, and when we got to the playoffs, I think he had 2 300-yard games in the playoffs. And I think when you do that in the playoffs, it's pretty special because you're going against really, really good teams.
Brock Green broke your passing record as a freshman last year. Comes from a football family. Obviously, his grandfather, Kevin Grau, one of your assistant coaches. His uncle, I think, was on the state championship team and was a 1,000-yard rusher. Both parents were athletes. How good, or how much of a jump do you expect him to make from where he left off last year to where he comes in this year?
Well, obviously he's going to get better and continue to get better. He's probably the best pure quarterback I've ever coached. As far as touch on the ball and throwing the ball, he had a really good June 7-on-7 period. He was really impressive in that regards. And I think the sky's the limit with him. He's got 2 things you can't coach, and one of them is he's 6'4", almost 6'5", and 210. So that's a prototypical quarterback. And the other one is he's got an NFL arm. So and people laugh when I say that, and they think that's just coach talk. But come out here and watch him throw. So and see if you think so. But he's got those things. So he's going to be special, and hopefully we can put it all together. That's my job, to put it all together and see if we can make it work.
What game are you looking forward to the most?
The
first one?
Yeah, I think that right now, as long as I've been doing it, there's no one particular game. I think it's just right now we want to get everybody in shape and get them ready to play. I felt like last year, maybe in that first game, we wasn't in shape as much as I would have liked. I mean, we had a two or three touchdown lead going in the fourth quarter and blew that lead, and it wasn't because of talent, it was because we were just sucking air so bad. And we can blame it on a lot, the 4-hour delay and all this other stuff, but I just didn't think we were in shape. I didn't think we approached getting in shape. I thought there was a little bit of entitlement there early in the year that, they thought, well, we're independents and everybody's going to bow down and that kind of stuff. And it was the total opposite. Everybody plays you a little bit harder. And hopefully they learned that lesson, and we'll use this summer to condition and get in shape.
Are you shocked by anything that's happened since you came over? I know you had, and I saw your post on Facebook, the sign "Championship under construction," caution, championship under construction. Is anything that you've done here surprising? When you came in, did you see this?
I did. I mean, I know that sounds arrogant, and I don't want to sound arrogant. I wanted to say that it was planned, and a lot of it was planned, and then some of it was luck. The state championship part's always luck, but I mean, as far as building the program, I felt like I knew what they had in the youth program over here. We got a saying around here, from the bottom up. We've got great support from the youth leagues. We're having a camp in the middle of the summer out here with Judah and Atticus and Doug Nestor from the Steelers, and they're out here with our youth league today while we're talking, working with our kids. And the parents are still really active in our youth leagues, and our middle schools have been really good, and our middle school coaches are on the same page with us. And so I knew we had that intact. So if we could just organize it and get it going better, and build it from the bottom, not build it from the top. And we eat, drink, and sleep this weight room. So I just knew if you put that all together, I knew that this program could get better and make strides and get better. So no, a lot of this was really planned. And hiring good coaches to come in and do specific things. And in a lot of my, and me maturing as an older coach is, let coaches do their things, not try to dictate, everything, and let them have their, their spot with the team, and, total team effort. So yes, and as far as state championships, nobody can predict that, but I knew we had some special kids, and I know we have some special kids now, and we have some special kids coming too. So we're pretty excited.
What's the number one thing you need to build a program? What's the thing one you needed to have when you came?
I think I've learned this the hard way, Dave. I think if you don't have total commitment, all right, from your community, your administration, your coaches, I don't think you can win on a major level without everybody coming together. If you got anybody in that pecking order that don't want you to be successful, you're probably not going to be successful. And that's after doing this for, I think this is 32nd as a head. I've been an AD for 21 or 22. I think if you don't have support from your administration and support from your coaches and your community, I don't know if you can do it. You've got to have everybody pulling for you to do good, and you can't have someone pulling for you to do bad. So, if I was speaking to a young coach, I would say, if you don't have that element, don't go there. But a lot of times when you're young, you're egotistical and you think you can change the world, but you can't change that. But if you got everybody wanting you to do good, then you got a chance.
John, I always appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.